The Unintentional Crypto Lobbyist. I believe I just saved West Virginia stablecoin issuers. That is a bold statement, I know. Especially by a journalist whose job it is to report on events rather than to influence them. For the record, I was not attempting to influence the legislative process in this instance. But I believe I did. And the episode highlights legislators' surprising malleability when you catch them off guard after a year of crafting massive legislation. Please allow me to explain. The West Virginia Legislature is considering a massive overhaul of the state's criminal code, the most significant in decades, with a package that delegates have been working on for nearly a year. Their 400-page bill would toughen drug sentences, expand homicide provisions, modernise anti-hacking legislation, and create a tiered system for misdemeanours and felonies. For a criminal code overhaul, this is pretty standard fare. But I noticed something odd in House Bill 2017 last week. It appeared to forbid people from issuing or transacting in cryptocurrencies that were not sanctioned by the United States' 38th most populous state. Any person who, without the authority of law, issues any note, cryptocurrency, or other security purporting that money or other thing of value is payable by or on behalf of such person, with the intent of creating a circulating medium, shall be guilty of a misdemeanour, read Section 6147 of the bill. Cryptocurrency, highlighted here, was a new addition to the unauthorized currency provision. What's the deal? Was this a cryptocurrency ban? I wasn't certain. The section that followed, 6148, only added to my confusion. Any person shall be guilty of a Class 3 misdemeanor if he or she knowingly passes or receives in payment any such note, cryptocurrency, or security. To me, it appeared to be a crypto ban. However, I am not a lawyer. I haven't even ordered those LSAT prep books yet. I'm sorry, Mom, so I emailed a few actual attorneys to get their thoughts. Intriguing. Drew Hinkies of Carlton Fields was the first to respond. This bill would benefit from additional clarification, he said. This is not a promising start. Hinkies explained that HB 2017's very curious definition of cryptocurrency was unlikely to result in a blanket ban on digital assets or any crypto with alleged intrinsic value, Bitcoin. Rather, it appeared to be geared towards cryptocurrencies that promise payment to the holder, or possibly asset-backed stablecoins with redeemable reserves. My favorite asset-backed, redeemable cryptocurrency is sardine coin. Holders of tokens can exchange them for a vintage tin of salty fish. Unfortunately, that European initial coin offering is not available to residents of the United States. Dollar-pegged stablecoins like USDT, USDC, and DAI, which are backed by fiat currency in a physical bank and/or other assets and have a combined market capitalization of $56 billion, or 77% of West Virginia's annual GDP, are more relevant. My next stop was Bradley's Carol Van Cleef. She called the proposal disturbing, saying it would make authorized stablecoins a non-factor in payments. When I see something like this, the first thing that comes to mind is where it came from, who is behind it, and why, she explained. I concurred. So I dug up the emails of the bill's 11 co-sponsors and emailed them all at once. I didn't realize it at the time, but Wednesday was going to be a big day for HB 2017. After nearly a year of drafting and committee work, it was ready for a third reading vote. The cryptocurrency rider had been there since the beginning, and it was only a few hours away from passing. Thank you for your contribution. I awoke to a friendly email from Delegate Brian Ward. Good morning, sir, the first-term member wrote. This bill was lengthy, and technical amendments are on the way to improve the language. Delegate Daniel Linville will offer an amendment specifically addressing your concern about cryptocurrency. I'm fortunate to have colleagues in the House of Delegates with diverse backgrounds. Your contribution to the creation of the best bill is greatly appreciated. What are you talking about? What was my contribution to the creation of a better bill? I am not a West Virginia resident, nor am I a registered lobbyist. I know how to report, but not how to persuade. I had no idea what was going on. Linville, who chairs the Technology and Infrastructure Committee, emailed me the amendment he planned to propose later that day on the floor of the House of Delegates. It would remove all references to cryptocurrency from Section 6147. This should be addressed within the next few hours, he stated. So I watched the livestream on YouTube. Linville did, in fact, ask his fellow delegates to adopt his amendment a few hours later. He stated that he had met with the bill's co-sponsor that morning and decided to remove cryptocurrency from the legislation. He believes it is preferable to remove a few words than to pass legislation implying that cryptocurrency is counterfeit money. Would his fellow delegates support him? The chamber agreed by voice vote, adopting the amendment. Nobody could get in his way. HB 2017 was then approved by a vote of 76 to 22 in the House. Something is wrong. I started going over my notes shortly after the bill was passed. I certainly appeared to have acted as a last-minute lobbyist for the cryptocurrency industry, even though I hadn't intended to. I had found a bill confusing, interviewed lawyers who had also found the bill confusing, and then dug up the email addresses of 11 politicians who, when questioned, had found their bill confusing as well. Ward had told me, this bill was voluminous, and technical amendments are forthcoming in an effort to perfect the language. We appreciate your contribution to the process of crafting the best bill possible. I had emailed Linville and Ward before reaching out to see if the amendment was planned, but had not received a response. All of this occurred in the final moments before the bill was passed by the House. This is the third reading. However, it is beneficial to the crypto industry. I'm not a lobbyist because, even if I could sabotage the stablecoin provision without even trying, I wouldn't be very effective. Remember, there were two sections of this bill in question: 1, 6147, that made unauthorized stablecoin issuance illegal, and another, 6148, that prohibited the transfer of such cryptos between parties. Also, keep in mind that an amendment specifically addressing my concern had been proposed and approved. In my email, I only mentioned 6147. Similarly, the amendment only lifted the prohibition on cryptocurrency issuance. Which means that if the bill is passed, it will still prohibit cryptocurrency transfers? I'm honestly not sure. Hinkies, the lawyer who thought the bill's previous version warranted a rewrite, wasn't either. Without cryptocurrency in Section 7, Section 8 makes less sense, he explained, pointing out that the statute's any such clause refers to a cryptocurrency that no longer exists. The courts might be able to enforce the ghost clause through complicated judicial jujitsu, but they probably won't. Again, as amended, this bill would benefit from more clarity, he said. The bill is now being debated in the West Virginia Senate.